everyone, it's Sal here. Welcome back to another perfume video. I hope you're doing well. So today we're going to be looking at some perfumes I have in my collection that have a light and fluffy, airy kind of feeling to them, maybe reminiscent of marshmallows. But before we get started with the video, if you are new here then welcome. Don't forget to give the video a wee thumbs up if you enjoyed it and subscribe to my channel below for new perfume videos every single week. And with all of that being said, it's time to get yourself comfortable, grab yourself a drink or a snack, and let's get started. So the first light and fluffy fragrance I have to show you today is Fiori from Armani. And I would say this is my favourite from the C line actually. I did used to own the original, that was kind of my signature scent for a while actually, but now this is the only C that I own from the C line. This fragrance is really sweet, kind of fluffy, and it definitely reminds me of a marshmallow. So the notes of this fragrance, we have blackcurrant, green mandarin, neroli, rose, patchouli, oak moss, vanilla, and white musk as well. To be honest, I would say this is one of the main fragrances that kind of inspired this whole video, just because of how much it really reminds me of a marshmallow, maybe even vanilla ice cream. It has that creamy, puffy sort of quality to it that reminds me of just several different gourmand related things. It's really very pleasant, very, very feminine to me. Quite light-hearted, quite girly, very, very sweet. So I would say, you know, if you enjoy your very sweet, vanillic, rosy, fruity type of scents, then you might really like this. But just be wary of the sweetness, basically, because when I first purchased this, I actually wondered if it was maybe too sweet for me. But funnily enough, as I've worn it more and the longer I've had it in my collection, the more it has really grown on me. And now I would say I really enjoy it. This is one of the fragrances that I wore quite a lot in the springtime for my springtime walks. And I would say, like, you know, next year, next spring and summer, I'm gonna get more use out of it than I am now. Recently, I haven't really been wearing this one an awful lot, just because we're into the colder months now and I've been more drawn to my heavier sort of wintry scents. But certainly come the spring and maybe the summer as well, I'll be reaching for this one more often. It's definitely a very nice, pillowy, soft, marshmallowy fragrance and I really enjoy it. So that is Fiori from Armani. Moving on today, I think we'll talk about this fragrance here. You might be kind of surprised at this one actually. It's Mon Guerlain Intense from the House of Guerlain, of course. And although in general I wouldn't really say that it directly reminds me of a sweet, sugary sweet marshmallow kind of note, but actually in the dry down of the scent, that's when this takes on almost a kind of toasted marshmallow quality. It's really quite unique, it's quite captivating, I would say. Let me know if you've noticed that about this perfume, if you own it. So it's not really upon the first application that I detect this, it's more kind of in the dry down. Because this fragrance has a really beautiful scent development, you know, the longer you wear it. It's a really nice long-lasting sort of fragrance as you would imagine from the name, but it's not punchy or harsh in nature, you know, it's very classy, sophisticated, elegant, and it has a soft kind of presence to it, but it's still quite strong and long-lasting, basically. So initially you do get more of those citrusy notes in the opening, you definitely get that lavender, so I would say it does have a punchier opening, but the soft marshmallowy quality comes later on in the dry down. So in this fragrance we have lavender, mandarin orange, bergamot, and then we have Tahitian vanilla, Madagascar vanilla, and iris. We also have jasmine sambac, rose, and in the base notes we have coumarin, patchouli, licorice, benzoin, sandalwood, and white musk. So one of the things I really like about this particular fragrance, something I like more about this compared with the original actually, is the fact that they really have amped up the vanilla in here. They've kind of amped up those base notes as well. I would say perhaps the licorice is stronger in here. And overall this has more of an opulent feel to it. It's maybe a bit more suited to evenings than nighttime. It's perhaps slightly more mature. I also like the fact that they added in musk as well, so it really adds to that nice sensual quality and it kind of helps to blend it with your skin chemistry as well. So this is truly a stunning fragrance. Like I say, in the dry down, I really do get that toasted marshmallow, pillowy soft kind of quality. It really is heavenly, you guys. Again, let me know what you think of this one if you have it in your collection. I certainly really enjoy it myself, and that is Mon Guerlain Intense. Next up today we have Mariah Carey's M, and this is a fragrance that does actually contain a marshmallow note, and it's quite a nice affordable scent. So in the notes of this fragrance we have marshmallow, of course, and seawater in the top notes. We have tiara flower and gardenia in the heart notes, and in the base notes we have incense, amber, and also patchouli. Something that kind of surprised me about this fragrance is just how prominent that seawater note is, particularly upon the first application. It almost has quite a fresh, bracing kind of opening to it, really, but it definitely mellows out the longer that you're wearing it, and it softens up in the dry down. You definitely get that pillowy soft quality from it, and I think that's really enhanced by the likes of the amber. The incense adds something kind of intriguing to the scent profile and stops it from being a bit too linear and maybe a bit too simple. Overall, this is quite an unusual fragrance, something that I wouldn't have necessarily expected from the likes of a celebrity scent. So from that point of view, it was kind of a nice, pleasant surprise. It's not a fragrance that I have been wearing an awful lot recently. Overall, this fragrance is fairly light, I would say. So for that reason, this is probably going to be the type of scent I will reach for more in the spring, maybe even the summer next year. So I've not been reaching for it an awful lot, like I say. To be fair, I haven't had it in my collection a whole lot of time. It is a really nice one, you guys. Quite feminine, quite soft, a little bit powdery as well. A very nice, interesting, slightly unusual take on a marshmallow kind of fragrance. I do quite like it. I think the bottle is really cute as well, with that little butterfly on the top. And I would say, certainly for the price, it's a really good fragrance. So that is Mariah Carey's M. Next up today we have this very popular fragrance, Ariana Grande's Cloud. Now this is a really stunning, aerated, sweet, and instantly recognisable fragrance. I do really like this one. This is a fragrance... Oh, almost dropped it out there. I'm actually going to take this out of its little holder for now, I think. So this is a perfume that I used to own in my collection. This actually belongs to like a friend of mine. I'm just borrowing it for the video. I did used to own it. It is a really good one. Do I regret decluttering it? Maybe a little bit, you guys, to be honest. I went through a phase, you know, a while back where I just felt very overwhelmed with the size of my collection, and I decluttered many perfumes. You may have seen those declutter videos. I decluttered so many fragrances just because I was feeling really overwhelmed with the size of my collection, and this was one of the perfumes that I moved on to a new home, along with many other good ones actually, and I kind of wish that I had just kept it because it is a really good one. As far as affordable celebrity perfumes go, in my opinion, this has to be one of the best ones out there. It's really stunning, you guys. Very smooth, very well blended, quite unique, and it doesn't smell cheap to me. I really do like this one. So I'm just gonna spray a little bit. So in this fragrance we have lavender, pear, bergamot, whipped cream, praline, coconut, vanilla orchid, and musk and woody notes in the base. It definitely has that light, fluffy, aerated feeling to it, hence the name Cloud, I suppose. It definitely has that very recognisable texture to it. And this fragrance kind of reminds me of maybe coconut cream, maybe coconut marshmallows even. Very flirty, very girly to me. quite playful in the mood that it evokes. Not really too serious or anything like that. I can imagine this being a really nice signature scent for somebody just because it's very, very recognisable and quite uplifting as well. It's a really good fragrance, you guys. Definitely reminds me of like a light fluffy cloud, maybe even cotton candy. Or should I say candy floss? Let me know what you think of this one if you have it in your collection. I certainly think it's a very good one, and I kind of regret moving it on to a new home, to be honest. Next up today we have Narciso Poudrée from Narciso Rodriguez. And this is a very light and fluffy, musky, woody scent that kind of reminds me of marshmallows, not literally, you know, not literally like a very sweet marshmallow, but there are nuances in here that are reminding me of maybe the texture of a marshmallow, that type of thing. And it really is a stunning one, you guys. I really enjoy this fragrance on days when I want something quite sweet, but I don't want anything that's too obviously sweet, just because there's something in here that smells very natural. So it's sweet in a musky way and it's sweet in a woody way, but it's not really sweet in a vanilla sort of way or like sweeties. It's not sweet in that kind of way, but just smells very, very natural. It's very soft, very, very feminine, definitely light and airy as well. Very, very diffused, absolutely stunning, you guys. This reminds me of a pampered goddess woman. Now, the notes of this fragrance, we have jasmine, Bulgarian rose and orange blossom. Then we have musk, coumarin, cedar, vetiver and also patchouli. Like I say, this kind of reminds me of a marshmallow, but in a very natural kind of way. It's not overly sweet, it's not really sickly, so to me, just as an example, this fragrance is very obviously sweet, whereas this one here is sweet in more of a natural way and it's more woody and musky. Fiori actually reminds me more of a literal marshmallow just because of how sweet this one is, whereas Narciso Poudrée is more kind of, and it's just not so literal, if that makes sense. The longevity of this one is pretty good. It's a soft scent, but to me it lasts a fairly long time, so I would say it's maybe moderate lasting power and projection. Signature scent worthy, of course. It's really stunning. It's one of those fragrances that's quite easy to wear, because although it smells very feminine, classy and put together, it is still quite easygoing, I want to say. Like, it's easy to wear and it feels comfortable when I'm wearing it, if you know what I mean. Next up today we have this gorgeous fragrance right here that's fairly new to my collection actually, and that is Angel Eau de Toilette from the house of Mugler. How cute is this bottle, you guys? I think it's absolutely stunning, and I kind of noticed that the juice, I think it has a slightly pink tint to it, which is adorable. Like I say, it's a new addition to my collection. I've been absolutely loving it. It truly is a stunning, light, sweet and fluffy scent. And the notes of this perfume, we have peony, mandarin orange, praline, apple, red berries, and in the base notes we have patchouli, white woods and also cedar. Now, it's kind of funny because I wouldn't say that I'm the biggest fan of fruity notes at all, particularly apple and red berries actually, but in here it just works so incredibly well. I would say you get more of the fruity light nuances when you first spray it, but then as it dries down it becomes a little bit more powdery. It almost reminds me of powdered cocoa. Maybe you're all wrapped up in a blanket and you have a hot chocolate. It kind of reminds me of that kind of mood, to be honest, the more that it dries down. There's definitely something fluffy about this fragrance. Kind of powdery, but I would say more fluffy. It just has that kind of playful, light and airy, easygoing, sweet kind of scent profile. I just absolutely love it, you guys. It's so incredibly easy to wear. It's very, very uplifting, very feminine. Did I say that this one has patchouli? Let me just check, because I know in the Angel Eau de Parfum there's a lot of patchouli and I found that to be a little bit too much personally. So there is patchouli in here in the Eau de Toilette, but it must be very, very pared back from the Eau de Parfum. because it's not nearly as kind of earthy, you know, this fragrance. It's not earthy at all to me, whereas the Eau de Parfum version is much more earthy, chocolatey, thick, more powdery and things like that, whereas this one's kind of easier to wear to me. I really enjoy this one, you guys. It's so unusual, actually. It's unusual, sweet, flirty, feminine, easy to wear, perfect for all year round, to be honest. I mean, I would say this is kind of maybe a lighter scent. I mean, it still has substance to it, but it has a light feel to it. And in the autumn and winter, I would be more inclined to reach for my heavier fragrances, but I've actually been wearing this one like a lot. So I'm wondering if this is maybe a perfect like all year round signature scent kind of fragrance. If you have tried this one, let me know if you prefer the Eau de Toilette, the one I have, or if you prefer the Eau de Parfum. And that is Angel Eau de Toilette from Mugler, a really gorgeous, sweet and fluffy scent. And last up today we have Britney Spears Fantasy Intimate Edition in this really adorable pink, not pink, white and pink I suppose, bottle that kind of reminds me of a Christmas tree bauble. And I'll read the notes in a minute. Basically, to me, this fragrance smells quite simple, basically like a brown sugar and vanilla type of scent with some musk, but actually having looked at the notes, there's actually quite a lot going on in here, which I would not have expected from this, to be honest. So we have lychee, Italian lemon, violet leaf, brown sugar, ozonic notes. There's a picture of an animal on Fragrantica, I don't really know. Genet, whatever that is. There's some jasmine, lily of the valley, vanilla, white musk, heliotrope, and also benzoin. But to be honest, you guys, the main thing I get from this is your kind of musky vanilla brown sugar type of fragrance that's very lightweight and marshmallow-like in nature. This is a perfume, I would say it's quite enjoyable. A few of you I think have mentioned this one in the comments, saying that you really enjoy it and things like that. It is quite a nice one, however I would say that I kind of have to be in the mood for it. It does have a slight alcohol-like smell when you first spray it, and overall I would say it smells maybe slightly on the cheaper side, but when I am in the mood to wear this one I do really enjoy it. It definitely shines more in the dry down of the fragrance, so in the first 5 minutes or so it doesn't smell maybe the best, just because you get that kind of blast of alcohol and it smells a little bit cheap. But like I say, as the fragrance dries down, it definitely improves, more of the notes actually come through and you can kind of appreciate it more. Very flirty, very easygoing, quite casual, kind of an easy reach, non-committal type of scent. Perfect for like a lazy day, a pajama day, or just popping out to the shops, anything like that. Those are all scenarios where I would probably feel most comfortable wearing this one. It's a really cute one, you guys. Definitely has that light, fluffy, spun sugar, candy floss, marshmallowy kind of feel to it, and it's quite an enjoyable one. Again, smells a little bit cheap, but you know, sometimes it bothers me and other times it doesn't, but overall I would say it smells a bit cheap, but it's still quite pleasant. So that is Britney Spears Fantasy Intimate Edition. So there we have it, you guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments which fragrances have you tried that remind you of a marshmallow, or any fragrances that have a light fluffy kind of texture to them. Just let me know. So thanks again for watching, take care, and I look forward to seeing you very soon on my next video. Bye!